Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday and happy Valentine's Day. I have to say that those who are on this call live today are the ultra committed. So hats off to each of you. Um, Hopefully you're going to be spending some quality time with your beloved today and all of your loved ones. Um, but I want to make sure to hop on and just give a little report on the State of the Union. It was so good to be on the cruise, connecting with Emily Wright and so many executives and top leaders in the company, so many Founders 2.0 who were on that trip. I just love the connecting points that come on the cruise. It's like a convention, you're sitting in your seat so much, and leadership as well. You know, you're sitting in your chair so much, there's not quite as much connecting time. So the cruise is, or the incentive trip is the best prime time for maximizing all those connections. So let's see. Do I see anybody was there anybody on this call who was there with us? I don't recognize any of the names yet from the trip, but it was an awesome trip. Can I just share a couple of, so we did have a couple of little meetings where we talked about what's happening and what's coming. And so let me just share what Todd Thompson shared from his session, because I personally am really excited about this, and hopefully this is okay to share. Sorry, Todd, if I'm letting the cat out of the bag here. Okay, so there's some cool stuff coming with setting up your LRP on enrollment. Also the multi-month view, being able to plan out more than just one LRP, but having, like, let's say you're doing a cleanse, or you're doing some kind of strategic, you're working on somebody's health project that takes more than 1 month, you can plan out more than one LRP all in one sitting. So that's really cool. As far as the back office, they're putting together a report that lets you see which products are selling the most on your team. And from what Todd said, you'll even be able to see, like, give me a report of who's never ordered MetaPower, or who's never ordered Lifelong Vitality, or like who hasn't ordered for the last 4 months. Like, really valuable data sets that are highly actionable. So you can actually take that data and put it to use, taking your existing customers and deepening their experience with doTERRA and helping them go wider with what they're benefiting from our health offering. So that's super exciting. The Power Me, some of you have taken a look at the Power Me app. It's going to be going full beta sometime here in Q1, and then they'll be offering some new assessments. Anyways, really, really cool stuff. So that's a quick update on some cool stuff that Todd and his team have been working on. I'm just looking to see. Oh, cool report on the loyalty program. Check this out. So 86% of all orders were loyalty rewards orders. And in all of time, we've rewarded over 100 million points. The average size of an LRP order is 72. And there's 45,000 new loyalty rewards customers in the US alone. So pretty dang cool to see how well it's working. Since it is Valentine's Day, let me just give a little shout out to my lovely Valentine. It's so fun to share a coconut on the lovely beach of the Bahamas and celebrate her. This was her birthday. That's always falls on the incentive trip. So it's a tough job to get 600 people all to go on a big international trip for her birthday, but every year I pull it off. So anyways, okay. All right, who is loving the new recharge? Well, yeah, like it's the recharge, right? It's new to us, but I am absolutely loving it. It's so great. Little pro tip that I got from James Bybee. Um, he takes he mixes his recharge with his advantage every morning. So just a little more water, mixes it all together, and he said it tastes amazing. He said he ran that by Dr. Alex DeBell, and Alex does the exact same thing. So fun little pro tip. Yeah, it is so great. I'm seeing in the comments. Oh, we forgot to start Facebook Live. Let's get that going. So sorry, I just get so excited. Sometimes get ahead of myself. Okay, let's see if I can spell. All right. Yeah, I want to hear in the comments how you're loving recharge and um, and who's coming to leadership, because leadership is right around the corner. Um, yeah. Oh yes, the greens. Okay, and who has given the new greens a chance? Like I know, did it go live? Can't tell if it went live. Hang on, let me check. Um, Let me do a little audio test here. Yes, Mary says she loves the new greens. Okay, thank you, technology. Looks like it's working for us. So I just want to give a quick testimonial from Shantae Hall, one of our frontline presidential diamonds, who is such an amazing person and rock star um, leader and life coach. So she did not love the old Terra greens, but she gave the new greens a chance and said she has never felt more alive, more energy. Just her mind felt like it was fully present and there. So huge shout out. Hope everyone is giving the new greens a chance because they are a game changer. Karina says totally agree. Um, yes, Moneta, like the new greens. Excited for leadership. Yes. Okay, awesome. Great pro tip and the tips and the comments from Karina too. So good, right? We are so blessed. And that's one of the things that I just keep seeing over and over is doTERRA keeps up leveling in every way, like bringing on the very best in science and product research, product development. So grateful that they're willing to do it well and do it right. What a difference that makes. Ned and I enrolled a power couple from another company while we were in Thailand, and they had a company that was not so committed, and it showed in lots of ways. That company is, I think, a fourth the volume they used to be. And so their check has crumbled, their team has crumbled. It's really sad. So yeah, just so grateful. doTERRA does it right every time. Um, so um, so grateful. Does Ruth is asking, does anybody know if they're launching the new flavor of Advantage tomorrow? I don't have the answer to that. So if anybody knows that, go ahead and put that in the chat. All righty. Moneta says yes. Cass says yes. That's great. Love it. We are so blessed, aren't we? So grateful. So, I would love to know what's coming up for you today as we launch into Q1 full tilt. We're a month and a half into Q1. How are you doing with your goals? How are you feeling about your mindset? Maybe some of you launched the new year with some big hairy, audacious goals. Maybe your, yeah, just let us know. Raise your hand if you want to come on live, or just put in the comments how you're doing with the new year, new goals, um, and mindset. So just kind of checking in. How are we feeling? How's your outlook? How's your team doing? How are your health goals? All right, Joan says, tips for donating oils for a large group, like a gift basket, um, giving other samples for a charity event, and how to get follow-up. You know, that's a great question. Probably the biggest tip I have there is to work really closely with the event organizers. Natalie and I went to a Dahlia's Hope charity gala, and at every single person's seat was a set of 2 oils that were just a gift, and it was a full bottle. And the reason for that is because Dahlia's Hope works hand in glove with Healing Hands. There were a few of the top Healing Hands people there. I think Missy Larson was one of them. So that's the easy route, right? Is to get those oils donated by doTERRA. If if they're not currently working with doTERRA's Healing Hands, then your best bet is to just partner with the organizer and say, hey, can I leave some sample bottles, and can I get the contact info for the attendees so I can do a follow-up? I think one of the oils was Hope, which goes in perfectly with the cause of Dahlia's Hope, to the gala we went to. But those are a couple of my ideas. I'd love to hear everyone else's tips. Has anyone had success giving samples at a big event that's not specifically a doTERRA event? That's a great question and fun conversation topic. Fun. Becky says that she is getting ready to kick off a recharge water drinking challenge. So excited to incorporate recharge into just keeping our water drinking up. I love that idea. So many of my top leaders are on fire with the idea of doing challenges. There's just, it's so, we as humans are creatures of habit, right? And so anything that's easy to do is easy not to do. So anything we can do to create positive social and positive peer pressure is a setup to win, right? So these challenges do just that. They give an opportunity for you to say, okay, anybody who wants to join, let's all do this at the same time. Let's have maybe a little contest, track points. So a million ways to skin that cat in terms of how to do the challenge. doTERRA in the past has done a MetaPower challenge, but it's not, I don't know how that, does anybody know if that's still live and if that's available to everyone? A simple way to do it is have everybody join a Facebook group, and you do your posts in there. You put out your assignments in there. As far as tracking the points, some people are using Google Forms. So that's definitely an option. I actually, if anybody is like all in with this challenge idea, I recently pulled together what I thought was the most accessible way to build a challenge on your own. Like if you really want to go all in, this is not for everyone, right? So about 12 years ago, Nathan and I built a success challenge. And it was just for business builders. It wasn't really about product. It was primarily focused on building business. And we spent about 50 grand on software to run that challenge. It was a lot of work. We had to have a whole team to run that. Oh, I wonder if I did it in Google Sheets. So here it is. Oh, that's YouTube challenge. Okay, maybe I'll find it, maybe I won't. But basically for about $600, you can have all the bells and whistles and more for what we built for 50 grand 12 years ago. So that's the power of open source code. And that's the power of leveraging what is like what's already out there. So let me share my screen real quick. I just found the spreadsheet. Oh, cool. Moda is saying that the MetaPower challenge is still live. So again, oh, sorry, not 600, it's $300. Cool. So the domain name's 15 bucks. You can get web hosting for about 84. WordPress is what it's built on. That's the open source content management system. GamePress is a plugin that you use with WordPress, and that's free. There's another plugin called GamePress Leaderboard. If you want that, it's $49, and that allows you to show where people are at with their points. So like you can say, hey, for this week, we've got, these are the top 10 point earners in the challenge. And then you also need a learning management system, which is free, Lifter LMS. There's another plugin called Buddy Boss, which is $169. And that is what allows you to have people like make posts and do a lot of the cool, like have a profile photo and just make it feel like you're part of community. And then I found a programmer that can put it all together for 50 bucks. So all in, you're about $300 to have your own website, your own challenge, all of that. So pretty cool what's out there with open software these days, open source code these days. That is been a game changer. So love it, love it. More people are posting about what they're doing. I'm just going to read some of these because we have Facebook attendees who can't see the posts and also the recording. So Becky says, challenges are so good. They reach people who love fun, who are seeking connection, need a plan, and accountability. Becky says the water recharge challenge. Number 1, have a glass or stainless steel water bottle. 2, goal is to drink half your body weight in ounces of water every day. And 3, drop a yellow heart in the message box every day that you meet your goal. Awesome. So is that like a text group or how are you doing that, Becky? And then, yeah, love that. Challenges are great. Challenges are, yes, she says it's a text group, but you could use any messaging app. Some people, some people get frustrated in text groups if there's like mostly iPhone and there's one Android user. So if you don't like that, you can go to WhatsApp or you can go to Telegram or Facebook Messenger. Like there's a million options, right? Just cater to your team and what works for them. But I love that. And it can be that simple, right? Anybody can start a message group. Anyone can lead out on that. You don't need all the bells and whistles of the software. So pretty powerful and can be really simple. So great way to build momentum is through challenges. Get your team on board with, and especially when it comes to health, we just need a little nudge in the right direction to create healthy habits, right? And in the end, it's the habits that win. That's what makes the biggest difference. So Becky says, if anybody wants the daily activities and tips we use, let me know and I'll email them to you. See, the way I think of doTERRA community is we are an open source community. You know what I mean? Like everybody pitches in, everybody shares. Nobody is in this for the glory or for the like it's got to be about me or I've got to make money on this. So anyways, thank you so much, Becky. I already see some people putting their email in there who would love some of your content. So thank you so much for sharing. I guess if you wanted, I don't know if you want to go this far, but if you want to email that to my assistant, Becky, then we could post that on the Share Success Facebook wall. So that's assistant@sharesuccess.com. So totally up to you. Love it. Well, what other questions do you have? How's your mindset? How's your habit hacking going? I know that we read Atomic Habits earlier this year. Hopefully that served you. It's one of our top 5 for sure. So good. Okay. Lots and lots of people want your content. So thank you so much for offering that, Becky. All right. What else is coming up for you today? How can I serve you? Sherry is loving essentialism. Awesome. So if you're watching the recording or if you're on Facebook, Becky just said that she will email it to us. So we'll post that on the Share Success wall later today. So thank you so much, Becky. So generous. Don't feel pressured just because I'm throwing out the idea. Okay, Joan is asking, does anyone else use Wavoto for your follow-up, for staying in touch with people, like emails, etc.? I know that I think Haley Hobson created that tool. So anybody have any experience with Wavoto? I've never used it myself, so I can't really speak to that. Kathy says, I use Wavoto and love it. Fantastic. If you want to come on live, you're welcome to. Just raise your hand and we'll bring you on as panelists if you want to speak to that, Kathy. Technology, right? You can live or die by it. It's the the enemy we all love to hate and hate to love. Anyways, it's Moneta says she is not going to use Wavoto anymore. She had it, but she's wrapping it up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if Haley created it, but I know she's a major shareholder, and so she's definitely contributed to it. That's about all I know. So, yeah, there's so many options out there, right? I know people who have, yeah, gosh, I get approached about 5 times a week about, hey, check out my new tool. So Sandy says, I used to use Wavoto. I moved to Social Fox. The training there on marketing and retention is outstanding. Yeah, I've heard great things about Social Fox. I haven't used it myself, so I can't really speak to it, but love it. Love to hear all the different feedback. Bree says, loving Social Fox came from Kajabi. I did a deep dive looking at Kajabi, and that looks like a power tool that's probably overkill for most people. Haley B says, loving Social Fox. Amy likes Social Fox too. So Karen asked what I use. So we used Groove Funnels for a long time, but they don't have an email feature. And so we've moved away from Groove. We actually use, what's it called? So we use WordPress for most of our websites. And we have MailChimp for our email tool. But we're actually looking at moving over to Keep or Flowdesk. Yeah, Flowdesk. So, and then in terms of like lead gen and landing pages. We've played with different things. Haven't really found anything that we absolutely love. So I can't really speak to, I don't have a glowing testimonial on any one thing, but yeah, that's the set of tools that we use. Okay. So Bobby, on those daily tips, she's going to send that to our assistant and she'll post that on the Share Success Facebook page later today. Okay. Any other questions? Shelly uses Shuffle, has really good tracking. I haven't heard of that one, so I'll have to check that out too. Love it. Okay. Well, what else? How else can I serve you today? What questions do you have? Let's see. Yeah, I'd love to know what's coming up for you today. Katie says that for texting, Shout is good. We've used Shout in the past, and I do love a lot of what they have to offer. Yeah, texting is a whole nother thing. Project Broadcast is what we use now for texting. We use an app called Chirp with 2 I's, but yeah, I've heard a lot of people who love Shout. Shout's especially powerful if the end user has the Shout app, and you can have these full AI conversations with your end user. So it's pretty dang cool. Okay, well, go ahead and raise your hand if anybody has any other questions or topics they want to go through. Bree says that Social Fox does all the individual things that are needed all in one: texting, email, landing pages, workflows, tagging, social media posts, and more. Love it. So cool. Hey, well, Katie asked if there are any gatherings at leadership. Yes. So we are holding a train by rank training at leadership. And I believe it's at sharesuccess.com/events. So we would love to see all of you there. Yep, there it is. So I'll just post this on Zoom and in Facebook. And okay, so Sandy is asking if we teach a particular follow-up sequence after attending the Experience doTERRA. So we do follow up with our own personal people, but because so many people bring their own people to Experience doTERRA, even within our team and outside of our team, we really leave the follow-up to them because, some people use different systems. There's a whole big group that uses Seth Risme's system. And I don't think there's any automated follow-up with them, but that's their own system. So we don't try to impose any of our follow-ups on them. So we don't really, there's not like a mass follow-up. But in terms of what we do, we use a lot of content from Enroll Pro. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but it's Laura Jacobs' tool, and it's got incredible follow-up content in there. Yeah, she spends so much effort on building that library. It's really, really inspiring. So, okay, Bobby says she loves Enroll Pro. All right, Marie says I'm hosting a super last minute Galentine's event with a mini spa theme. So come in PJs, mud mask, on the faces. Yarrow Palm and Rose Duet, and a DIY perfume blend. Any tips on help getting attendance as well as getting enrollments there? Wow, that sounds like an all-in spa event. Gosh, I imagine that with everything that you're offering, that's going to be pretty easy to get people there. Um, I mean, who doesn't love a free spa day, right? Are you charging for this or is it free? Um, yeah, it's gosh. So this is one of the masterminds that happened on the incentive trip. I had a lunch with Amy Fulmer and her team, and one of her leaders, Rochelle, was sharing how she did spa events for a while, and they got great attendance, but very low enrollments. And so she found that the important thing was to offer some spa experiences, but there's got to be a fair amount of education in order to get the enrollments. If you're just coming to spoil a bunch of ladies or people, then you may or may not get them to commit and buy product. So she found that really it's just it ends up being a class, an intro to oils class with at least 20 minutes of oil experience or sorry, spa experience, or layering the spa experience as long as it's not too distracting in the class. So, and she makes the heat packs. She just buys tube socks and fills them with rice. And so it's super inexpensive to make those. Those are some of the gifts that she gives as well. They also make, I think, salt scrubs. So like bath bombs, stuff like that. So, yeah. And by the way, Jennifer, when we're talking about all of those tools, for landing pages and email campaigns, none of that is necessary. It's really just for those who want to offer that kind of support. It's great, but I would say for the bulk of people, trying to build landing pages and lead capture stuff is a distraction. It's unless that's your background in life and you're already really good at it, I would say don't go down that rabbit hole. Okay, so it looks like Ruth has a question. Let's go ahead and bring her in. Hi, Ruth. How are you
Thanks.
doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. I feel so energized by the emotional breakthrough challenge that's been going on. So, shout out if anybody doesn't know about that. 5 webinars this week and just amazing, amazing information. So that's been awesome.
So that's good content, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. But I have a kind of a mindset question. I feel like, and maybe I have black and white thinking, but when I try to focus on strategy and business, I sort of go one direction. But when I tune back into, okay, this is just about serving people and God, how can I be an instrument in thy hands? Then I just want to see how people are doing and give oils away for free. Like I feel like I don't have that balance of, anyway, any tips at all of how to really partner with God, but not feel then like personal success should be shunned.
Yeah. Oh boy, this is a great question. And after spending a month in Thailand, this is one of the great, I don't know, it feels like this is one of the main areas of focus in Buddhism is non-attachment, right? Like how do I live my life without being attached, like overly clinging to outcomes or clinging to certain results. And so it's definitely a journey, right? To be clear on our intentions, to be clear on our actions, and then to release attachment to outcomes. So um, I think it's a daily journey of just being open every day to fresh inspiration, being willing to pivot, um, but showing up in such a consistent way that that you're showing God that you're all in, and that you're going to keep showing up, um, regardless of, you know, what mountain does or doesn't get moved that day or on day 363, right? It's just um, a steady commitment to your course of service. So I think I don't know, there's humility that's required when you're willing to say, God, I'm here for it, no matter how long it takes, no matter whether or not my leaders show up or my builders show up or not, I'm here for it. And and I'm here for the long haul. Um, but that's the attitude that wins. And so just being willing to say, I'll keep showing up, and it's up to you to move the mountain, but I surrender to your will and your timing, and I'm just going to keep showing up day in, day out. So I don't know that there's like, I think um, getting too hyper focused on, do I have that right mindset, can keep us from the action and from the surrender. And so just being willing to make every day a practice, make every day, every moment a, I'm here for uh, another round of imperfect practice. And um, I think that's part of the journey to non-attachment. But I think your question proves that you're on the right path, that you're heading that direction. So um, yeah, love that so much. How's that feel, Ruth? Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. And here's to all of us, right? Getting on that path of commitment, but non-attachment, right? The world shows success as being this like just die hard, like I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to be out of balance. I'm going to be all in, and it can feel like force. Um, but I love the way, like I think of Dave Sterling and the way he shows up, and it's that level of humility and just daily showing up that is such the perfect model for me. So
That was
awesome.
awesome. Perfect.
Thank,
Thank you. That does
thank,
feel really good and truth. So thanks.
thank you for that question, Ruth. Best of luck to you and all of us on that one.
Thank you.
Okay. Um, so if you guys are okay, I am going to switch to my phone because my daughter is having a Valentine's party, my Abby Grace. And so I get to be her Valentine's date. So if you guys are okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch to phone. But feel free to keep posting your questions. Um, let's see if I can type while I talk. Maybe, maybe not. Okay. All right. Yeah, love your question, Karina. What are you willing to give? Can you guys hear me? Can I get a yes or okay? Fantastic. That was easier than I expected. Okay, so Sherry asked the question, how can I engage or re-engage my leaders? How many of you can relate to having leaders who are once engaged and have stepped back? Maybe life has happened. There maybe didn't go as well as they'd hoped. So for one reason or another, they have stepped back. I think all of us can relate to that at some level, right? So how do we re-engage them? So I would say the number one tip is to stay connected to them in their lives, regardless of how they're showing up in doTERRA. So sorry for all the noise. But just being there as a friend, first and foremost, and with no expectation of anything else. So I think 90% of the relationship breakdowns that happen with our doTERRA builders is just because they at some point someone feels like there's a need from the other. Need you to show up a certain way. Attachment. If we can be more committed to them as a person, them as a happy human, then everything kind of just works out. And so, what does that actually look like? We've had frontline leaders or qualifying legs who have checked out for years at a time, and that doesn't mean that we stop communicating with them. It just means that we're hanging out and we're serving them in whatever ways we can, and giving just quality time and giving whatever level of service we can. And speaking of service, I'm about to drive through a bad service spot. So if my call drops, I'll be back. But just give it a sec here while I drive through the bad service spot. Maybe the nope, so unmuted. Okay. Okay. I think I'm through the bad service spot. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Okay. So, yeah, that's where we've found that the relationship is primary, right? That's what comes first. I'm committed to them as a person. I'm committed to them. Whatever their needs are, I'm there to serve them in their needs. So I guess that's my tip there is engagement. Like if you could ask them, if you could do a survey of your qualifying leaders and ask the question, is my upline committed to me first and foremost as a friend, as a servant, as a champion and cheerleader of my life, regardless of what I do in doTERRA, what would they say? Could they honestly say, I'm I'm here for it regardless? And that's a next level of non-attachment, right? That is not, that's easier said than done, right? But it's that's the litmus test right there of whether we are showing up truly to serve and not be coming from a space of need. So we all know what it's like to be in a needy relationship, right? Where one partner is codependent or needy on the other. It doesn't feel good, right? It's not fun, and it usually doesn't last. So those are a couple of my top tips there. And yeah, just shower them with gratitude. I love some of the comments that I'm seeing coming through. Yeah, I mean, there's health stuff that comes up too, right? Like somebody just mentioned one of their leaders had a stroke, and so that's a pretty major life change, and you have to be able to roll and adjust. So, okay, Dr. Christine is asking advice on what to say for the first email to the team ever for your hello email. I guess it depends on the makeup of your team. This is because you might have two emails, and this is what I would suggest. I would suggest having one messaging that's primarily for those doing the business, whether it's just sharing or full engaged building. And then I'd have a separate email that's focused on customers, because obviously it's a very different message that you're sending to each group. Your builders, they're more than happy to talk about business and strategy and like some of the stuff I just went over from the trip, right? Like, hey, there's some cool stuff coming down the pipe and with the back office, and we're really excited. But for the customers, your message is, hey, did you know about the new recharge product? Hopefully you've heard about it. Here's why I'm excited about it, or here's what I'm loving about it. If it's your first email, I would definitely have some get to know you content in there so that your team can start to connect with you as a person. So, how can I be transparent and vulnerable so that they want to hear from me and be a partner with them on the journey. It could also be like, hey, could you reply to this and let me know what you want to hear from me? Like what would serve you? What are some of your goals that I can help you with? That would be really powerful, just to prove to them that you're a servant leader and you're here to serve them however they need it. So, great question. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, Dr. Christine says it's mostly customers. So I would focus on product conversation, right? Like, what are the specials? What are the new products? What are ways to use the product? If you're doing some kind of health challenge around the product, that's your target audience is your customers. So, yeah, great question. Any other ideas there? And by the way, if you're looking for just like gobs and gobs of insanely good content, that's what Enroll Pro really has. So there's email campaigns around every single product, every single kit. I actually did a call on Monday, and one of our builders said that any of her qualifying legs, she'll actually watch in the back office and click on their order number and see what they ordered, and then she will send an individualized email to them about the products they ordered. So you can get the content from Enroll Pro, and then send it based on what you see in their order from the back office. And that's pretty time intensive. But if it's just your personal enrollees, it's probably not crazy, right? Unless you're an online builder with dozens or hundreds of enrollments, it's probably manageable. So I love that idea. Oh, cool. Andrea says there's a great Valentine's email with recipes in Enroll Pro right now. I love that. Okay, any other questions? Seeing some great comments in the chat. Let's see, Ruth, is that a comment or a question? Oh, it's a link. Okay, so I think Laura is she's in the middle of some great training on Enroll Pro. So Ruth just posted a link to that in the comments. It's a Zoom series. I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 calls, but it looks really, really great. Okay, well, any other questions today? Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, joining me and this whole beautiful community. I'm so blessed to be part of this community. So go out there and keep serving, keep loving, keep giving, and show up. Yeah, by our trip to Thailand, we saw so many monks everywhere we went, and it was such a powerful reminder to me of what a disciple can look like. Just all in, like so committed. Especially as we studied what I think it's like 513 laws are that they follow, like the rules for a practicing monk. I was like, man, these guys are all in. So anyways, discipleship in doTERRA looks pretty different, right? It's just the pipes. Just keep showing up and taking care of yourself, inviting others, presenting, enrolling, and then supporting your team. So thanks so much for the way that each of you show up. Have a great Valentine's Day, and we'll see you next time. Take care.